Hello artists, so today we're going to be doing a printing experiment. Let's get started. Get my cord out of the way here. So the first thing I'm going to be doing here in my sketchbook is I'm on my experiment and practice section here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name up at the top, Miss Dusick. And then what I'm going to do here is by my media, I'm going to put printing or printmaking. Printmaking. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to practice drawing backwards. When we print things, we have to draw it backwards on our printing plate in order for it to show right side when we go to print it. So I'm going to do this by doing my initials, by carving my initials first. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide this part up here in half with my pencil, and I'm going to write my initials up here at the top, right side, going the correct way. Then what I want to do right underneath it is I'm going to go ahead and draw them backwards. So I'm going to take this whole thing and draw it backwards. I'm going to do bubble letters here. I'm going to do block letters or bubble letters. So I'm going to start with my K here, and I'm just going to go and draw it backwards. Then I need to draw my D also backwards, just like that. Go ahead and pause the video and draw your initials backwards in block or bubble letters. All right, now that you have your initials backwards, now what you're going to do is you're going to come on over to the printing station. Let's go on over. And what I have over here, let's get a better angle here. What I have over here is I have the printing station, and I have this yellow bucket over here, and I have some printing directions. I also have an example of how my plate looks, how it's backwards, and how when I go to print it, it will print the opposite direction. What I need to grab for my experiment today is inside the yellow bucket here, I have these little styrofoam discs and these pieces of paper. I will also need a pen, and then I will need a set of markers. I will grab the markers right by there. All right, let's go back on over. All right, now I'm back at my area. I have my markers today. I have my printing paper, and I have my pen and my little disc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using kind of my sketchbook as a guide here. So I'm going to put it just kind of by me so I can still see it, but that way I have free working area. So on my disc here, I'm going to look at my backwards block letters, and I'm going to draw it on my plate, my foam plate. When I go to do this, I don't want to press so hard that I go through the plate, but I do want to press hard enough that it makes an indent in the plate. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure you're drawing it backwards, because when I print it, it will flip it forwards. Any line that I make will show up. So if I drew a line all the way down in my K, it would show up. And I don't want that, so I'm going to do my best and take my time to just draw it backwards without having all the lines in there. Now for my D here, again, I want to make sure that I push up. I can go up or down with my pen, my choice, whatever's comfortable. I want to draw the bubble inside. All right, pause the video, and you're going to carve your plate with your initials backwards. All right, now that you're back, what you're going to do is you're going to be taking your markers, and this is going to be your printing ink for your experiment today. In later prints, you will be using regular printing ink, but for today we're going to use markers. What I'm going to do is I just need to pick out a color of marker I like. I like purple today. When I go to print my disc here, my initials here, I'm going to be able to get, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to be able to get 4 prints out of it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my marker open, and I'm just going to color the disc. I'm just going to go ahead and color the whole thing one color. I'm going to get my finger here out of the way. I want to make sure I'm getting the color almost all the way around. Now when I go to flip it, I want to make sure that my KD is going to be, when I flip it, it's going to be the other way. Right? So this was my KD this way, this backwards. So now I'm going to flip it over. My KD will be forwards. And then what I do here is I'm just going to press it down. And then I'm going to kind of rub it here with my finger. I'm holding it in place with this hand so that it doesn't go anywhere, and then rubbing the ink on the paper. All right, let's see what we got. So I can kind of see my KD there. So the reason why we're doing this 4 times is because sometimes our first print is not our best print. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to color it again. I'm going to use the same color. Get it all the way to the side here. And I'm going to go ahead and print it again. I can't just press it down with my fingers. I really need to make sure that I rub it with, and I can do this with part of my finger maybe, if I feel that that's more comfortable, but I really need to kind of rub it in with either my finger or whatever it is, not just press in finger marks. That one turned out a lot better. So now we can really see that even though I printed it backwards, that it's really going to turn forwards. All right, I'm going to do this 2 more times. If I wanted to switch colors, what I would need to do is I would need to get a, I would need to take this over to my sink, and then I would be able to wipe it off either with a damp paper towel, or I could put it under the sink and then dry it off with a paper towel if I want to switch colors, if I don't want to use the same color over and over again. You're going to print this 4 times. You want to make sure that at least one of those times you get a good print where you can read your initials in your paper. You want to make sure you get one good print. Just like that. When I am done with this, this should dry fairly quickly, but what I'm going to do with it is I am going to grab a piece of tape, and I am going to tape this side of my sketch. I'm going to tape that side of the paper in my sketchbook. So I have my tape here. I'm just going to tape one side down right here, so that it stays in my sketchbook and I can see underneath what it looks like. Happy experimenting!